Hi everyone. Continuing the lecture that has been delivered to you day before yesterday, we'll be continuing and talking about architectural drafting today. So I think Devarshi has told me about some of you have prepared schematic drawings regarding some like hypothetical plot and a plan that you have prepared. So in relation to that, I will add to some of the important features that has to be considered while drafting any kind of architectural drawing. Yeah, civil drawings you can say. So architectural drafting is basically pictorial images of buildings, interiors, details or other items that need to be built. These are different from other type of drawings as they are drawn to scale that include accurate measurements and detailed information and other information necessary to build a structure. So these documents are basically graphic representation to communicate how to do the construction, remodeling or installation of a design project. So whatever drawing you are preparing, that might be of a entirely new project or might be a renovation of an existing site or interior project. So this will include your floor plans, elevations, section, then details, ceiling plans, finish schedules and mechanical information such as electrical, plumbing, air conditioning and heating plans. Fine. So now talking about the types of drafting. Now there are basically three major kinds of drafting. One is the process drawings, which includes your preliminary sketches, schematics. I think Cheyenne, somebody called Cheyenne has prepared a schematic sketch of a plan. Now this comes under your process drawings. Now the second is the construction documents that will include your drafted drawings, working drawings, plans, sections that you will draft either in AutoCAD or might be hand rendering and something like that. And the last is the presentation drawings, which includes your illustrated sketches and three-dimensional views that will include either perspective, two-point perspectives, isometrics, etc. So we all know about what are the methods that are basically used for process drawings. Now, one can say do some kind of technical sketch, one can do a mechanical drafting, or they can use CAD, that is the computer aided drafting. So here you can see this images. This is a hand drawing, but this has been drawing using the two-point perspective theory. And these are freehand sketches, fine, but these are in proportion and you might use some kind of scales for preparing such kind of sketches. At the same time, for making a schematic layout, you can use a grid paper, that is 1 by 4 inches of grid paper, and above that you can place a tracing paper like that and you can prepare a layout in this form. Then these are scribble sketches that represents your conceptual ideas. Suppose you are presenting your schematic drawing to a client, and at the same time with relation to your plan, they want to visualize how the exterior or the interior detail you are thinking about. So in that case, you should always go for such kind of technical sketches. You might use small scales. At the same time, you can do freehand scribbles using pencils of different shades or charcoal pencils. Yeah, the next is your mechanical drafting. So this includes your T-scales or French curves, and these are very much important, similar to AutoCAD CAD drawings also, because CAD drawings are definitely very much in use. But being a professional, you should also know drafting it, such kind of mechanical drafting skills, so that in case of any kind of trouble, you can go for a mechanical drafting just for preparing the basic conceptual sketches also. Now, we all know about AutoCAD, that is the computer aided drafting. So in this is a basic layout that has been prepared using AutoCAD software. And at the same time with the software, you should also know about what kind of paper that you are going to deliver your drawings to the clients. So you can basically use the tracing, vellum, or the mylar and acrylate sheets. So these are very much available, and this gives a very clean finish to your drawings in whatever you want to present, either in sets or in singular form. Now, talking about line weights, you must have been knowing about whenever a plan has been made. Suppose Cheyenne has formed a plan. So in that plan, if the wall thickness and at the same time the cabinets, yeah, interior details be of the same weight, then it might create some kind of confusion in the site that will be executed in the site, because the line weight determines and have a very important weightage in any kind of professional and technical drawing. So by line weight, I mean, like you all know about guidelines or construction lines. There are different variations of lines. Suppose this is a bold line, this is a medium line, this is light lines and broader lines. Fine. So you get options in AutoCAD also about the thickness of the line, and you get an option that is called the line weight. So whenever you are preparing a drawing, you should always use layers so that you give different variations to your drafted plan, so that when the printout has been done, it is completely shown that the wall thickness and the interior wall thickness have a variation. So in that case, whenever the drawing has been sent to the site, it might be read by either a contractor or might be a mason. So he might not be confused about what is the thickness of the walls. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Yeah. Okay. So moving further, you all know about drafting standards. Do you know about drafting standards?
No, ma'am.
Hello, yeah. Okay. So drafting standards are again elongation of your line types. These are architectural drawings that are intended to communicate design intentions in a clear manner. Like this is a solid line. You can see these are used to indicate visible objects that can be seen in a plan, elevation, or 3D views. Solid lines are also used for leader lines and dimension lines. I will show you with the sketches that how exactly this will be used in your plans. Okay, now again there is another line which we call as the dashed line. I am mentioning all these things because whenever you are a professional, you should always speak the language of technical words. So suppose any of the mason, a regular contractor or a builder comes to you and talks about show me your plan. So whenever you are reading your plan, you should always say that my wall thickness is in a solid line. This solid line may be come with different variations. By variations, I mean it might be a broader line or it might be a light line. Now, in AutoCAD, you get options about line thickness. You can say that this is my exterior wall and it has a weight of 0.3 mm, which is thick enough for representing an external wall. Now, there are dashed lines which are used for showing hidden objects. This means that suppose this is a layout. Here you can see these are all dashed lines. Fine. Now this has been used to show the beam above this area. Fine. So there is this beam which is in this portion and this is the column. So the dotted line or the dashed line that has been used to represent the beam in the plan. So suppose you have shown your section cutting from the sill level, cutting from the lintel height. So you are showing that you have something above the lintel height. So in that case, you can show this kind of dotted lines to represent your plan above. At the same time, in the staircase also, we use this kind of, more elongated dashed lines to represent the staircase which is above. These are solid lines which is representing the staircase below. This is the dotted line which is representing the staircase above. So in any kind of professional practice, it is very important that we know how to present our drawings, because presentation of drawings matters a lot, and this is the key which makes a variation to become a good designer or a bad designer. Fine. So then there are another, kind of light. There's another kind of line which we call as the movement, ghost, or phantom line. So this, you can see, this can also be used, but this is basically used for drawing sections. Then there are more presentation of lines such as the leader lines showing arrows. These are kind of leader lines. Fine. You can present it and use them in your drawings. And these are the break lines. Fine. These break lines are basically used whenever you are trying to show an extension of your drawing. By extension, I mean, suppose here, sorry, yeah, here you can see this extension line. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, this is the extension line. This means that this is the staircase which we are rising up from this area, and since we are going upstairs, you are showing an extension, and the dotted line represents your staircase above. So this is the correct method of presenting your staircase. Now there is the center line, which is used to indicate the center of a plan, object, circle, arc, or any symmetrical object. Use as a series of very long and short dash to create a center line. So this center line is basically used, I will show it in the later plans. Like suppose this is basically used in showing your center line drawing. When you are making a column layout, okay. So in that case, might be the next class I will share details of working drawing. For right now, we just understand that suppose in this portion, we might be using this center line, okay. In order to present that there is a column, and we are presenting the center of the column, representing a center of the column using this center line, okay. Then next is a section line. Do you all know about sections?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the section line, suppose in any kind of a small plan, the plan that Cheyenne has drawn, suppose, can you connect me to the plan that Cheyenne has drawn? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Just connecting. Just a second. Is it visible? Hello?
It's not visible to me. Okay, that's fine. Let it be. Now the section line here, suppose this is a small layout. Suppose this is your kitchen. I take it as your kitchen. So in that case, you see these are all windows, the representation of windows in this way, and this is the section line. Fine. So if we cut the section from this portion, in the elevation, what we are going to see is that whatever things that are existing in this portion might be here, we can arrange the range or the kitchen cabinets. So in the elevation, that is the 2D form, we are going to see everything which is in this portion. So in plan, whenever you are showing your plan with sections, you should always use this kind of section lines, okay. Then next we have this dimension line. This also comes in different variation in AutoCAD. You can select different styles of dimension lines, but for architectural practice, most of the time we go for this thick one. Fine. So this gives a very uniform and wall-to-wall clear dimensions, which are very easy to read by the masons, because whatever we prepare, like your hi-fi and highly, educated drawings are not always going to work in the site. So for the masons, you should also learn these simple languages so that your drawing is readable to them. Then we have a material symbol. These are the material symbols. This you find in the hash hash option in AutoCAD when you are going to hash any kind of a surface. There you can see these all representations. So it is very important whenever you are drawing a plan, a floor plan showing your flooring. So you should always go for this detailing so that it makes clear that whatever finish that has been provided to the floor, and provided at the same time you should also write the specifications. Suppose here if you have provided suppose wooden flooring, so my texture here should be somewhat of like this. Okay, this should be my wooden flooring representation, this form. So with that I should always mention that what is the specification of wood that I have used in the flooring, so that whenever the mason is going for buying the product, so they do no mistake in finding the correct material. Then next we have architectural graphic symbols. These are the wall symbol. This is in case of cased opening. See, I will share this presentation later, but if you are making your AutoCAD drawings, try to use all of these elements. You will in yourself see the difference with a regular layout and the detailed layout that you come up with. So for a normal layout, you just use all these annotations and details so that it will bring a beauty in your plans also. So this is for cased openings. This is for interior door. This is again for interior door with two-way swing. This is one-way swing. This is two-way swing. Okay. Does you know about two-way swing? Hello?
Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. The door will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
Yeah, it's
open in both the way.
right. So you are able to read it, and at the same time, with this kind of representations, your mason will also be able to read this language. Okay. Then in exterior doors, you are showing a closed door. At the same time, you are showing the swing. Then again for bifold doors, this is used. Sliding, this we can use. Pocket doors, this is a representation. Double hung, casement, sliding, opaque, and owings. So these all annotations are very important for presenting your drawings in a correct manner. Then next you have these door details. Now for sliding door, you have to show this kind of hatching, panel doors, these details, casement, windows, double casement, fixed, double hung. These are elements has to be used in your elevations. Now see, last we have talked about the section line. Now there is the section symbol. So this section symbol is does often consist of a 1/2 inch diameter circle and an arrow that indicates the view direction of side, which is filled solid black, and two numbers. The upper number tells the section number on the sheet, and the lower number indicates the sheet number where the section is drawn. So section number, this is the section number, and this is the sheet reference. Suppose whenever you are delivering a drawing to the site, so you will always send a booklet. Fine. You will always send a book in the format of a just like an album or a binded book. In that, all of your drawings will be there, but in some case, if you say you have missed any of your drawings and you want to later add to your drawings, and you have forgotten that you have missed that to give it to your mason. So in that case, this detail, that is your section number and your sheet reference, is most important, because they will be able to identify that you have missed a drawing which is of sheet number A5. Fine. And this is the detail of section number 2. So these are very small things, but most important for working drawings and technical drawings. So here you can see this is a section line, and this is my sheet A5, and this is section 1. Fine. These sections are used to give a elevational view of what exists on the other side of your plan. Then elevation symbols, again, in the elevation number, there will be an elevation number. In the plan, this is represented this way. In the elevation, this is represented this way or might be this way. See, this is without a, so this is not a section, this is an elevation. So this arrow shows I am giving a view in this direction, that is my elevation number 3. This arrow shows I am giving an elevation in this direction and my elevation number is 4. Okay. Then this is again giving you just in the plan. You have to show in the layout plan, you will show this signage. It represents that you are viewing all the 4 sides of your room. On this direction, you will have a view. On B, you will have a view. C, you will have a view. And on A, you will have a view. Okay. So here we have drawn a layout of a toilet block with detailed dimensions. This is center to center line dimension. You can see this is center to center line dimension. Fine. This is the center of my wall and here is center of my wall. This is center of my wall again. So in this way, I have shown the dimension line, which is architectural tick dimension style, and I have shown my drawing in feet inches. Fine. And on the right side, this is the sectional elevation showing the staircase. See here is the staircase, and this is a basic representation. Keep your sections very simple and readable. You can make out details. Suppose it is not necessary, like it has been shown here that the entire detail of the wall has been shown in this one section. It is not necessary. You can just draw a simple wall line here and show your section, and in a very clean way, you can just blow it up and show the detail of your walls in another section. Okay, likewise, in the last we have known about section presentation and elevation presentation. Now this is elevation datum, which is shown in the 2D elevation. Fine. Elevation data is used to indicate a level line control point, and furthest from the drawing, it is 1/4 inches diameter circle with 2 lines crossing horizontally and vertically. This is the thing which I am talking about. And the upper right part and the lower right part are filled with a solid black. Fine. This is the representation in elevation. Then for doors, you will use this kind of details for representing the doors. See here, I will make it clear in this layout. Okay. See, this is the way the doors have been presented. The detail of the doors have been drawn in this way. Wherever there is space, it has been drawn just near the door, and wherever there is no space, extension line has been drawn, and the numbering of the door has been done here. This is a very good presentation drawing, which has shown the extension lines and the door details also. And this is the thing which I am talking about. This is your wall-to-wall dimension, clear dimension, which will come at the top. And the next will be your center-to-center wall dimensions. This is the center-to-center wall dimensions. Okay. So this, again, you see there is some kind of detail window which has been presented in a different way. So your drawing should speak whatever you are trying to tell to the mason or the contractor. Next, I'll be talking about this title block, which is important whenever you are presenting your drawing. You should always draw a title block. Here, what should be the size and detail of your sheet. At the same time, what should be the spacing that will be leaving from both the sides, all four sides, sorry, all four sides. So this is very important so that all of your drawings are properly lined up here and it is properly presented. So this comes under the third category of drawing assets, which I have talked about, which is called your presentation drawing. So at the end of the day, you are going to present a sheet format where all of your drawings should exist and, you know, be completely used up inside this layout only. Though the title block, it includes, suppose here I have mentioned my studio name. So it includes your studio name, which will be represented here. Then your design, the project of your design, you as a consultant, your name, an address, and all these details has to be mentioned in the title block. Now there are various scales for setting up your drawings. For the site plan, you can go for 1:20. Then foundation plans. These are all the kind of scales that you can use for presenting your drawings, so that it gives a proper setup in your title block. That is your sheet that will be presented. Now this again is also comes under the presentation part. This is optional. If you want to just show a three-dimensional cut option of your plan, of your layout, you can use this kind of blocking where you will just cut a section in this portion and you will show a dotted image of your existing floor plan and the floor above. So this way is also used nowadays to show the different levels of your drawings using this dotted line format. See, this is the thing that I was talking about on the living room. This is the representation of your elevation. And see the thickness of walls. Suppose this wall is either made thick or it has been hatched. So this represents what? An external wall. Fine. And this is a thin line. This might be a glass, a fixed glass, which has been represented in a lighter form. Similarly, you see this dotted part. So this dotted part, it means that there is a cabinet above this area. So whenever you are presenting your drawings, it should be very clear, very neat and properly drafted. This is the section line. Okay. So this section line representation shows me that this is my section 1 of sheet number A3. Okay. So coming next is the hierarchy of dimensions. In the last plans, I have talked about this kind of dimension, which we call as the overall dimension. So whenever you will be reading your drawing, you should say that this is my overall dimension. Next is your wall dimensions, which includes from the first wall to the second wall. Then third is your opening dimensions, which may used for representing your door centers. Okay, these are opening dimensions. Suppose you have a door and you want to show the opening dimensions from wall, from the inner wall to the center of the door. So this is the thing. This has been drawn with the dimensions from the wall to the center of the door. This is all about how you want to present it, but the thing is that you should always use this kind of proper technical terms and methods, because somebody might say that I don't want to show the wall to center of the door detail. It is your choice. It is completely up to you whether you want to show it from the wall, or you might say that I want to show it from wall center to center, or might be you can say that from wall to wall up to this portion I will show, and again for the door I will click another line here and show the thickness, so the length of the door in this portion. This is completely your choice, but whatever the thing is that everything should be properly presented using this kind of breakups. So this means your overall dimension, this means your center to center dimension, this means your inner breakups. You can say it your inner breakups from wall to wall, then again wall to door. Then in some cases, you see your plan has been drafted slightly slanted in this way. These are aligned dimension lines. These are all available in AutoCAD. So whenever using your aligned dimension line, you should turn off your ortho, because the ortho option doesn't allow you to draw a curved line. Okay, so you can always choose this aligned format to show a wall that has been drawn in this way. Then there is your curved dimension line. See, somewhere if you have some curved lines or something in curve that you want to represent, you can use this kind of representations. See, in all of your plans, in the coming sessions, we might be discussing about the different types of plans that exist in presentation drawings. Suppose you will not always give just the layout plan, because whenever you are sending a complete set of drawings, it includes all of your drawings, which includes starting from your layout to your flooring, your plumbing, your what to say. Ground floor plan, first floor plan, then electrical layouts, and all of these drawings should be separately, separately printed and should be separately drafted. So there is a process of, making all these plans, because it has to be overlaid right from the base, right from the ground floor plan. Everything should be in mirror, or everything should be in similar line and length to the ground floor. If you have some extensions, that will be presented in a different format. So for that, you should always use this kind of architectural language. Then here you see, this is just the frame again from starting to the second wall, and then there is the center of this window. These are for frame structure buildings. Many of the glass buildings could often be represented where you have a solid wall in both the ends and a clear glass in the middle. See, in this case, you are showing the detail of your window. So here I have mentioned this breakup, but at the same time, you can also mention the numbering of your window also. Yeah, this is elevation. Say this is a presentation elevation. Now this is the skeleton. You can say this is the skeleton typical interior elevation with the detailing of what kind of material that has been used here. Okay. So here you can see. Is it visible to everyone? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here you can see, this is just the typical elevation, interior elevation. Here you can see the material scale, which has been mentioned here. and the elements that are existing. Suppose there is a mechanical box and there is an opening in this portion, which also includes the height and a breakup of the heights of the different elements. And this is the elevation, which includes your graphical, or you can say the presentation elevation, because it has got all the textures and the detailings, and you might render it, or this is just a screenshot, you might render this elevation also. Okay, this is another interior elevation. So here also there is completely a detail of the plasterings and the door formats. You can see the different variations of the doors that has been drawn. And here the representation of the annotations that has been used for drawing this drawing. See here detailing is mentioned, that is a polished chrome circle seal section drawing for details. So here this is the detailing and this is the specification of the detailing, which mentions that here is a aged glass which has been used in this portion. Fine. And there is a light fixture in this portion and a drop circular soffit in this portion. So this is a normal panel door, and this is another different detailing of a door which you can customize and show it in a different way. And this is just a double swing door. Okay, double panel swing door. This has been represented in this format. So all this breakup of details, you are going to use it in the example drawings that you will be presenting in your plans and also in your elevations. Then this is a sectional elevation showing your exterior elevation with the different levels. Okay. Yeah. Hello. Is there any questions so far? Hello.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So here you can see this elevation. So here also this is a sectional elevation which has all the elements that are in my plan in the 2D format. Fine. So this is a very detailed elevation, and I think this is a standard sectional elevation which you can say, because it has got all the element details and all the dimensions in the vertical format. Suppose this is your staircase. It has also got the line thickness and the slits that are existing in the staircase, and at the same time it shows the door dimensions, and see the thickness of the railings. The thickness of the railing and the door thickness has a variation. So this is what I am talking about, because your slab thickness, your railing thickness are different. So it is very easy to read for both the mason and contractor that this represents the door and this is the railing. At the same time, he can just estimate to know the thickness of the railing. Suppose a 3-inch railing by 4-inch railing. So this represents your thickness also. This symbol shows that it is going to slide in this direction, and this door again, this if this is sliding, it is sliding in this direction. You can also show your flooring details in this elevation, in this section also. At the same time, this is the annotation and symbolic representation which which I have shared in the earlier talks, that you should always represent the section in this format. So because you will be delivering different kind of drawings. This is not one drawing, because one plan will have different sections that has to be given to the site. So in that case, you should, if you don't use this kind of annotations, it will create a confusion. Because every time, suppose for plan one, if you have drawn a detail, this is suppose the detail of a reception desk. So here you have to make sure that this has a relation with whatever has been shared in the first plan. So whenever you are giving this section, you should always have the plan in here, which is the key plan, and this is the blow up of that portion. Now, moving further, I would like to talk about these schedules of doors and windows for any kind of technical drawing. Whenever you are going for working drawing, or you are going for BDA approvals, everywhere it is very important to give the door window schedule of your drawings. So what is if whatever your plan layout, there must be the different sizes and specifications of doors. So this should always be mentioned in a door window schedule. So this is a typical door window schedule of a residential project. Suppose you mark the number of your door. This is the number one door. In that case, you should mention the size, its type, whether it is a panel door, a flush door, you can write it here, the material that has been used in that door, and what is the finishing of that door. Either it is a mica finishing, or a just stucco paint, just a formal, enamel paint. Everything should be detailed in your door window schedule. See, these are the graphical representations of those doors, and this is the schedule of the doors. This is similar for the windows also. You want to mention the window sizes, the openings in windows. You can always share the openings. In doors also you can do that. That will be a separate column. You should mention the space of openings in your schedule. Now, this is another thing apart from approval drawings. In the interior drawings also, there are this kind of schedules that you can prepare for representing the finishes that has been used in your room. If you are describing a particular room, that might be your living room or your kitchen. So in that case, you have to mention what is the floor material, what is the thickness of the material, the kind of detailing that has been provided, and everything you can mention it in the schedule. Okay, so this is what I have to share for today. So far, is there any questions?
Guys, like, are you getting what ma'am is teaching? Like, you can ask your doubts. Because ma'am has shared so many informations today. And I think most of them were like new to you. So if you have any doubt, please do ask.
How to schedule means how to do the scheduling stuff, if you can.
Okay, just hold on. Get back to the plan. Suppose the schedule, this is just a presentation of your door and windows specification. Okay, the schedule is a box that includes columns and rows. Fine. That includes columns and rows, and it looks something uh, say, the schedule looks something like this. Now you are asking that how to make this schedule, right? Uh, um, uh, okay. So suppose you in your plan you have this door. You have different doors, right? In your plan you have different doors. You will mark all your doors. Suppose I am taking this plan. Okay. Suppose I'm taking this plan. Here you can say I have door 4, door 5, door 3. You can definitely make a difference in the uh, type of door, right? This is a single swing, right? This is double, this is double panel swing door. Okay. So whenever you are making the schedule, you should mention that suppose uh, your door number 4 have a single swing and it is a panel door. Fine. Or you can say your door number 4 is a single swing and it is a flush door. So this is the variation. And for door number 3, we will say that I have a flush door which is double swing, that is door number 3. So this is very important because when suppose your core of the structure has been made in the site, your basic core structure has been made. There you will see that they will leave spaces for the doors in the lintel and walls. They will leave spaces for the doors and windows. ठीक है, ऐसा ही होता है ना, जो कोर स्ट्रक्चर होता है उसके अंदर में आपको क्या होता है, खाली खाली जगह छोड़ देते हैं. सिल लेवल पे कुछ छोड़ देंगे, वो खिड़की के लिए छोड़ेंगे, कहीं पे आपका डोर के लिए छोड़ेंगे. तो क्या होता है ना, आप जो ड्राइंग भेजते हो वो तो वो लोग नंबरिंग देखते हैं. आपका ड्राइंग में प्लान में आप ऐसे डालोगे 3, 4, 5 है कि नहीं. तो वो जब वो पढ़ेंगे तो उन लोगों को लगेगा 3 एक डोर है, 4 एक डोर है. देख के उनको भी पता चल रहा है कि हाँ ये तो एक पलने का डोर है और ये 2 पलने का डोर है. उनको वो पता चल गया. अभी बात ये है कि उस डोर का जो हाइट है वो उनको पता नहीं है कि नहीं. वो उनको एलिवेशन अगर वो पढ़ लिए तो ठीक है, नहीं पढ़े तो मतलब क्या उनको पता भी नहीं चलेगा. तो वो शेड्यूल क्या होता है, अगर किसी के पास आपका एलिवेशन नहीं भी है तो अगर उसको डोर लगाना है तो वो शेड्यूल देख के डोर फिक्स कर सकता है. वो कैसे होगा, सपोज आपका डोर नंबर 3 है कि नहीं. तो डोर नंबर 3 में उनको पता चल गया कि इस डोर का विड्थ कितना है. पकड़ लीजिए इस डोर का मेरा विड्थ है पकड़ लीजिए 6 फीट. ठीक है, 6 फीट होने से 3 फीट 3 फीट दे दूंगी, या 4 फीट होने से 2 फीट 2 फीट का. तो वो मैं स्केड्यूल में मेंशन करूंगी. वो ऐसे मेंशन करूंगी कि डोर नंबर 3 जो कि मेरा डबल स्विंग है उसका विड्थ है 4 फीट, एक पलने का है 2 फीट, दूसरा पलने का है 2 फीट. वो मैं बता दूंगी. और मेरा हाइट भी है कितना, पकड़ लीजिए 7 फीट जब का लिंटल हाइट. तो उसमें जब आप बता दोगे ना तो उसके लिए आप मतलब समझना आसान होगा. और ये स्केड्यूल जो है ये आप कहीं पे भी अप्रूवल कराओ, इसके बिना आपका अप्रूवल अप्रूव नहीं होता है. तो ये एक स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट है. जब आप ड्राइंग को किसी साइट पे भी भेजते हो या परमिशन के लिए भेजते हो, यू शुड ऑलवेज हैव द स्केड्यूल्स इन योर टाइटल ब्लॉक. मतलब आपका जो शीट फॉर्मेट है उसके अंदर रहना जरूरी है. ठीक है. तो सिमिलरली विंडो के विंडो का जो थिंग है उसमें भी आप 100% एक विंडो स्केड्यूल बना सकते हो, जिसमें सपोज आपका कहीं पे वेंटिलेटर भी है. यहाँ पे जहाँ पे सपोज मेरा इस जगह में एक वेंटिलेटर है तो इसको मैं एक नेमिंग दे दूंगी बी बोल के. जो स्केड्यूल है उसमें मैं मेंशन करूंगी बी जो है वो मेरा क्या है. ये एक फिक्स्ड ग्लास है वहां पे मैं मेंशन करूंगी मेरा बी फिक्स ग्लास है और उसका साइज इतना बाय इतना है। वो बहुत जरूरी है आपका वर्किंग ड्राइंग के लिए। साइट एग्जीक्यूशन आपका स्केड्यूल के बिना नहीं होता है, ठीक है?
हाँ।
ओके, सो एनी मोर डाउट्स? और किसी को कुछ पूछना है? हेलो हेलो हेलो।
Yes, ma'am. We are.
या तो अभी डू यू हैव और एनी मोर डाउट्स?
No, ma'am.
And like, how many of you prepared that rough sketch? Like anyone else who wants to show the sketch he or she has done?
Guys,
Because
let's make this sessions bit interesting. See, ये जितने भी अभी आज मैंने share किए हैं, what you can do is that you can use all of these elements in your drawings. You will yourself see the change in your drawings and you will wonder कि मेरा drawing ऐसा दिख सकता है। Because कहीं पे भी आप किसी अच्छे फॉर्म में आप ज्वाइन करना चाहो, खुद से प्रैक्टिस करना चाहो, it is very important because आजकल बनाने वाले बहुत हैं। What will matter is that the quality of your drawing will matter. So अगर आप ये सब चीजें यूज करते हो ना, तो whatever you are drawing will come out in a very good format and will be look very pleasing और अच्छा भी लगेगा। जो पढ़ रहा है उसको भी अच्छा लगेगा, जो बना रहा है उसको भी अच्छा लगेगा, समझने का तो और भी अच्छा है। तो ये सब एलिमेंट्स आप अपने ड्राइंग में यूज कीजिए। So suppose I think you have been asked about drawing schematic drawing. So why don't you use this grid paper जो मैं पहले आपको बोली, ग्राफ पेपर जो है 1/4 इंचेस का जो ग्राफ पेपर है, उसमें आप स्टार्टिंग से आप प्रैक्टिस कीजिए ना कैसा होगा कंसेप्चुअल लेवल से। जैसे कि ये सब स्केचेस है, ये सब भी बनाइए एंड यूज दिस ग्रिड्स। तो उसके ऊपर आप ये मेजरमेंट ड्राइंग बनाओ, आपका एक लेआउट बनाओ। तो दिस विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग, आपको कुछ नया करने को भी मिलेगा एंड यू विल लर्न अ लॉट एंड सी ऑल दिस स्केचेस एंड स्क्रेबल्स। सपोज आप अपना आइडिया इंस्टेंटली किसी को शेयर करना चाहते हो, इन दैट केस यू कैन यूज ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशंस टू मेक द अदर वन अंडरस्टैंड। सो अभी आई थिंक कितनों ने ये बनाया है प्लान?
I think 3 or 4 students have like Sarasij has done it, Apurv has done it, Pritika has done it, and Shayan has done it. 4 of them.
Okay. So why not? I think there's 16 people, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the rest?
See, like if you don't want to do something, it's your choice. But at least you are getting ma'am in this session, so try to utilize all his advices and the points he's making. Do a note of them. Obviously, we'll be getting this PDF later, but at least try to implement those things because this is the best time. Because once ma'am is not connected to you after the end of this internship, then you will not get any kind of suggestion and because right now if you do something you can get the comment from ma'am, so that is really will be helpful for you.
Okay,
Create
I think
some, yeah.
they are done with the session today.
Yeah, okay. And like ma'am, if they submit something to me, I'll forward to you, and if you want to like
Yeah,
comment.
yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay.
that is fine, but you can try to make them more, engaged to all this features that as I have introduced today. So that will, give them a new way of learning because they're making just a schematic format. Fine. Now, what
Yes.
is the next step they will going to do? They will directly draft in AutoCAD. That is the thing, right? So why not to ask them to make some kind of sketches that will, how they are visualizing their room plans or floor plans to be just in a grid format. They can use all these things and upload. So this will be something interesting.
Yeah. And at the same time, if you're learning something new, just try to apply it. That is the best way to learn something new.
In
Just,
AutoCAD also, all of these annotations and all of this symbolic representation, let's see who uses all these symbols, because that is going to make their drawing and rise up the level of their drawings a lot. Okay then, I think I'm done for today. In the next session, might be we'll discussing something about Vastu.
okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.